Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk about questions that you should ask yourself if you want to get a dog. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video is because that I know a lot of people, when they get a dog, they only had little knowledge or an understanding on what they're in for, taking care of a dog, which eventually leads to them regretting their decision later on. So the purpose of my questions, which I prepared, is to give you guys a clearer understanding of what you're in for when you take care of a dog, as well as hopefully reconsider doing so if you eventually realize that having a dog would do more bad than good for yourself in the long run. Okay, so let's just go to my first question, which I prepared, which is, are you going to spend the next 12 to 15 years taking proper care of your dog? 12 to 15 years is a very, very long time, and it could be a significant period of your life, a long and significant period of your life. Okay, a lot of things can happen, which can also affect your dog in either a very good or in a very, very bad way. And that within those 12 to 15 years, your thinking can also change. It's all part of human nature. We tend to change over the years. Like, let's just say right now you want a dog and you have one, you're really happy, but probably a few years down the road your thinking would change and you decide that you regretted your decision of getting a dog and you never actually wanted to have one. Yeah, okay, but also, like, within every day of those 12 to 15 years, your dog's going to be with you, and your dog will be depending on you to provide it the care and love it needs and deserves. Okay, which most of it needs to be done on a regular schedule. Now, some of the care that you need to provide, okay, sorry, I'm reading from my computer. I have to prepare this thing. So some of the care you need to provide includes feeding, walking, exercising your dog in other ways, grooming your dog, as well as cleaning it, such as bathing it weekly and making it part of your family. And so that is like 12 to 15 years of work, time, energy, and expenses on taking care of your dog. So there's a lot of things that you need to do for it for the next 12 to 15 years. Okay, but so if you are someone who loves to sleep, does not like to move around a lot at home, or you don't like sticking to a regular routine, or maybe if you are someone who is never really at home for reasons like you travel a lot, you're a steward or maybe an air stewardess, you work overtime in an 8 to 5 job oftenly, or you have a very, very happening social life, like hitting the clubs regularly, having whatever night parties you have, and getting hangovers the next day, then you should not get a dog, because your dog will only be miserable being alone by itself throughout most of its life. But sad to say that this does happen a lot, which leads to my second question, which is, what will you do if you grow tired of the dog and you no longer want to care for it? Now, right now you'll probably be in denial of this ever happening, but believe me, a lot of people I know who eventually grew tired of their dogs initially thought the very same thing. Yep. One good example would be my neighbor who used to come to my house and play with my dogs a lot. I have 2 dogs. He would love to come to my house and play with them, hang out with us, and he would say things to me like he would really, if he had a dog, he would really love it, and he would care for it a lot, unconditionally. But ironically, it's been a few years down the road. He's changed a lot since then, and he's had a dog for 1 year. But the thing is that I've only seen him once with the dog throughout that 1 year of the dog's life with him, because he's changed a lot. He's never really at home because of like whatever things that he has outside, you know, like uh, like like parties or stuff like that. Yeah, so the dog is mostly by itself at home, locked up in the house. The dog's not allowed to be outside when uh, when most of his family is not around, because they don't want the trouble of the dog running to the front yard and possibly attacking someone or something outside. So they keep the dog mostly locked up at home, and the dog spending most of his life alone at home. Yeah, so I find that really sad, because sad. Yep. But I also ask myself this question of what will I do if I no longer want to care for the dogs. I ask myself this question on and off, but now, as I'm now into my 4th and 5th year of taking care of my dogs, safe to say that I have not really found an answer to that, and that I'm just determined to taking care of them until they are not around anymore, due to old age, hopefully. Yep. But unfortunately, I can't say the same for most dogs that I know within the neighborhood. Now, because the reason why is because that it is apparent that many of their owners have grown tired of them, or they cannot cope with the work and sacrifices they have to make for their dogs, and they eventually move on. So how do they move on? They will move on by either surrendering the dogs to the animal shelter, or giving the dog away to someone else. Both my dogs, I adopted both of them, and they did not have, and the previous owners were horrible with them. Okay. They could be, sorry, but they could be euthanized for ridiculous reasons as well. Like, there was this story, my neighbor told me about this other neighbor who euthanized her dog just because that there was maggots in his ear. So I didn't know how did the vet even agree to that decision of euthanizing the dog. I find that really ridiculous. Or the most common scenario I've seen of what happens to these dogs is that they'll be thrown to the helper and be taken care of poorly, while the rest of the family will only acknowledge the dog when they have time. Okay, but based on my observation, leaving the dog mostly or entirely to the helper could possibly be one of the worst things that you could do for it. And let me explain. Okay, this is simply because is that the helper won't know how to appreciate or care for them anymore than the original owners could have. And but why would they? You know, it wasn't them who wanted the dogs in the first place. It was their employers who wanted the dog, and not them. So how could you expect them to do research and take and have a proper understanding on a dog's behavior and how to properly care for it? Okay, and to them, a dog would just be a burden or a chore which needs to be done, and they will complete it however they see fit, regardless if it's rational or not. As a result, I've seen these dogs being mistreated by helpers and owners as well. When some vent their anger and frustrations on them, which I'll talk about in another video about bad dog owners. Okay, so after hearing all this, okay, hopefully you can take this question also very seriously. So, like, would you want to make the same mistake as what these other people made? You know, as these other people, you know, do you want to spend the next 12 to 15 years dealing with a very bad decision poorly and living with it for the rest of your life, for the fact that you have doomed this dog's fate because of your impulsiveness and your stupidity. So, okay, now that's just all I can talk about for this question. And now on to my final question, which is, why are you getting a dog? Ask yourself, why are you getting a dog? Seriously, ask yourself this question. Is it because that they look adorable as puppies, and that you think that bringing one home seems to be one of the best things that you can ever do in your life, and it will end up, and it will just end there, the dog staying in its puppy size, its cute little size, and it'll be a no, and you think that it's not going to be a problem in the future. Are you thinking like that? Or is it that you and your boyfriend, girlfriend decide to get one as a stepping stone to the next level in your relationship? Or do your kids, or are you being imposed by your kids of getting one and being pressured by them, so that you decide to get one, get a dog for them as a present? Or is it because that you need a guard dog? Now, if you're getting a dog for these reasons, then you should not get a dog at all. And this is simply because that a dog is a living, breathing creature which has feelings and emotions, that you cannot toy with it. It's not a disposable object without any regard to without any emotions, or feelings, that you can just toy with and suddenly decide to get rid of the dog. One day, if you think that having it around with your family that it will not work out anymore, or like what if you and your boyfriend breaks up and you cannot decide who's going to co-parent the dog, and you would end up having, and it's going to be only trouble for you guys, which you guys would eventually just resort to returning it or sending it to the shelter where it can be adopted by someone who can take better care of it. Do you want to go through all that trouble? So again, if you're getting a dog for these reasons, don't do it. Get an actual object that you just need to pay expenses for it one time, and that's only when you purchase it, and when you don't want it anymore, just do whatever you want with it. Hopefully, give it to someone else who needs it, and it'll still be a good thing because the object, it won't have any emotions or feelings that it won't feel miserable. Yeah, so just get an object. Don't get a dog. Don't get any living, breathing animal. Just for these petty reasons. To me, a good reason of why you want to get a dog is because of companionship. Like, let's just say if you are living alone and you possibly need like a friend, not to sound very lonely, you can get a dog, provided if you are disciplined enough and committed to caring for the animal. And also, another reason why you should get a dog is because if you have a genuine love for dogs and animals as well. For me, the reason why I don't mind taking care of my dogs is because that I have a genuine love for animals. I like dogs, and I'm determined to providing them with as much proper care as I can provide for them to keep them happy. So that's my reason of why do I want to take care of a dog. Okay, so I would say that those are all the questions that I can think of for you guys to ask yourselves if you are thinking of getting a dog. So hopefully these questions will help, to determining if you're actually ready to get a dog or not. And well, I think I should just end off the video over here. And well, thanks for watching. Bye.